Believe it or not, these are actually the same kind of diapers. They're both Thirsties Fab Fitted Duo diapers, and they've been used the same amount of time. They've been washed the same way. Everything's been the same, except this one right here has had the elastic replaced, but they used to look identical. So let me show you how I did that. I just wanted to show the size difference in the diapers now, that with the elastic being repaired, that you definitely have way more room on the wings when the elastic is not working, both sides here, and the length in the rise is a lot more as well. Both of the diapers are on the same setting. The rise is at the smallest and it's closed all the way at the top. And you can really see the difference in the leg gussets, that there's pretty much nothing going on here, and this is all the way closed up. This also shows how wide the waist is without proper elastic. Both are on the smallest setting. My elastic is anywhere between 4 to 4.5 inches long. I like to go closer to 4, because when I attach it to the elastic, you'll see that I'm not all the way at the top of the old elastic. So this part up here doesn't really stretch, adds length to it. I like to have it a little bit shorter. My biggest question when I first started was, where in the world do I cut this? Because I didn't want to cut it up too high so that it, there was no elastic, and I didn't want to cut it too low so that there was too much old elastic that was in there. But I found with these that the elastic starts pretty much right where the soaker is sewn in it. So you can cut anywhere in this general area and you'll get to the elastic. When you do your cut, you're going to want it to be parallel with the seam here. You're also going to be cutting through 2 pieces of fabric. So here's the first layer of fabric cut, and you can see that you're just only at another white layer of fabric. So you will need to cut through both of those layers in order to get to the elastic. Now that I've cut both layers, you can see how it is orange inside and no longer white. When I first did this, I had a hard time getting the elastic out until I realized where the elastic was. The elastic is going to be all the way over here, right on the edge. That's what it'll look like right there, just right on the corner, just right there. Now that I was able to pull a little bit through, I like to pull it out as far as I can get it and then kind of pin it down so that I don't have to keep chasing after it while I'm trying to sew it on. So I've pulled the elastic through the casing. I've bunched it up down here so I can be able to have an extra amount to work with here. I pinned it down so that I don't have to worry about it trying to go back through there as I'm working with it and trying to sew on the new elastic. I try and get the new elastic as close to the top of the old elastic as I can, and then I will start to stitch it on. Okay, so now I have sewn the new elastic on to the old elastic, and I'm going to safety pin the new elastic to this old elastic right about here and show you how to pull the new elastic through the casing to the other side. You'll want to use a teeny tiny little bitty safety pin, and the pointy spot needs to go away from the casing, because if you put it in the other way, it kept popping open on me and then stabbing out through the side. But since I've been doing it, putting it in this end first, I haven't been having that problem. Now you can cut this part here so they'll release it, so now you just have a little thing to pull through the casing. So now that I have this part ready to go here through the casing, one thing I didn't show you is that you need to cut this area over here, make a cut there, and then pull the elastic through. I actually forgot, but you need to remove this needle that's anchoring your elastic down, or else you will never be able to get your elastic through this hole because it's anchored down up here. So take out that anchor needle. So now that I have the old elastic through the other end and the sewn elastic one there, so you can see I just stuck that in the hole there, and I can pull on this end. Mind you, I'm doing this one-handed. It's a whole lot easier if you use 2 hands, but there we go. So that came through. So I'm just pulling again. I was able to get that through very easily. So you can tell that it's easier for the small end to go through the casing than it is for this big end to go through first. So now I need to anchor the new elastic so it doesn't snap back through the casing since it's now a lot tighter. Go ahead and sew the new elastic to the old elastic. Try and go up as high as you can against the old elastic. Now that I have the new elastic sewn into the old elastic, I'll go ahead and clip off the old elastic. Remove your anchors here, and then you're able to just pull it back out and get that to go back in. Sometimes it will do this, where the old elastic, where you cut it, it'll get caught on there, and you just kind of have to help it work it back into there. So now I've given it a good stretch, and you can no longer see the old elastic or the new elastic at all. So you just see these two little cuts, 1 and 2 here, and we will need to just hand sew those up, and then we'll be done with this side. Right, so I got that stitched up, and I have the other side stitched up as well. So this side, the diaper, is done. So now I still have left to do this side, which is very flat, and the back here needs to be done. And now I am done with this. I'm going to put it side by side with the first one that I showed to just show you that how much of an improvement was made by just adding the elastic. Here they are laying side by side. You can see that they're pretty much the same length. You can see here that now the leg hole is pretty much the same as the other one was. And here you have the orange on the bottom and the light blue on top, and you can see that they are now the same length. The elastic in the top, I did it a little bit looser this time around, and you can definitely tell that it is looser because it is a little bit longer. I wasn't sure if I did this too tight, so I went ahead and made it just a little bit looser. I think I'm liking the tighter, but we'll see once I get it on if it's too tight or if it's too loose, because I can always adjust either way. If I wanted to adjust it, I would just seam rip that and pull it out and just shorten it and restitch everything back. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I highly doubt I would actually go through the trouble of redoing it, because, I mean, clearly it looks good enough. Good enough for me. Having repaired both of these now, I feel a lot more confident in going on and doing some other repairs, and my next repair job is going to be these 4.0 diapers. They're the Bum Genius 4.0s, and the elastic is pretty relaxed. It's not extremely relaxed, but I know I had a hard time with it leaking around there, and I did check the PUL and it was good. So hopefully this tutorial was a little bit helpful, and again, I am not an expert at this at all. I've only done 3 of them, and this will be my second and my third one that I've done for the Fab Fitted. I know that I looked online and I couldn't find anyone showing a tutorial on how to fix them. I will say that the hardest part was really just finding the elastic in the casing. Once I found that, it was smooth sailing and easy to do. I had these and I had stopped using them for over a year because I was just so intimidated by doing the elastic, and I'm glad that I just went ahead and bit the bullet and did it, because I was able to do something, and now I have 3 fitted diapers that I can use for overnight